Hello, and welcome to the Ontario TTISS Entering a Reaction How-To video. This video will introduce tools that we created to make entering a transfusion reaction easier, while providing your hospital with its own historical database that can be accessed in years to come to monitor events or to make reports. To improve the ease of reporting, ONTTISS has simplified the reporting process by offering one-stop shopping. What we mean by this is that the Canadian Transfusion Adverse Event Form that we use to report events to TTISS has now been approved for reporting to all blood agencies. An adverse transfusion event can be entered online, and then if it needs to be reported to other mandated agencies, the form can be saved and then emailed or printed off. Meanwhile, the data that was entered in the electronic form gets automatically saved to the TTISS-ON REDCap database. To enter a reaction, you're going to begin at the TTISS-ON website, which is ttiss.mcmaster.ca. Go to the tab that says Report an Adverse Transfusion Reaction and then Report a Reaction. Scroll down, and where it says Enter Data here, you're going to click. Now, normally you would be prompted to enter a unique TTISS username and password for your hospital or for yourself, but because I'm already logged in, it didn't ask me to do so. So this is the main home form, and if you want to create a new record because you have a new adverse event, you're going to click Create New Record. So let's take a look at this online CTAERF. I'm going to show you just a few features that are different from the paper copy. So we're going to start with where you enter the name of the hospital or the facility. So now when you start entering the name of your hospital, it'll have a drop-down menu so you can click on it. Today, because this isn't a real reaction, I'm going to call our hospital a practice reaction. Over here on the right, where it says reference number, this field is not important for TTISS purposes, but some hospitals or facilities may choose to enter their own unique special reference numbers to keep track of the cases. So I'm going to call on my reference number 001, just because. So down here, the form provides an area for you to enter personal patient identification information. When the online form is submitted to REDCap, so when you click Save in the online form, this personal information is not saved, and that's to protect the privacy of the recipient. The only personal information that TTISS does save is the birth month, the birth year, and the sex of the recipient. So you can enter something here, and when you print off the form right away, or if you save the form directly to your computer, then this information will save, but it won't in REDCap. So let's scroll down a little bit. Everything should be fairly straightforward. You'll enter the blood group, you'll enter the RH group if possible. Keep going down. So here where it says clinical signs and symptoms, we have a little bit different. So if you click that yes, there were symptoms, you see that there's this set list that you can choose from. I mean, you can always pick other if it's not in the list, but let's say you pick pain. It used to ask you to describe right away where the pain was or what it was. But now we have these little more checkbox menus where you can choose where the pain was. And this is just to help speed things up a little bit, make it easier for you to enter the reaction. So let's say our person was having chest pains. Another thing that's pretty much similar is under the abnormal test results, if there was an abnormal test, instead of prompting you to type in what the name of the test was, you can just click on it if the name of the test is there. So the other ones don't go away if you don't click on them. But it just makes it a bit easier so you don't have to do as much typing. Just looking at the form here, just enter as much information as you can. We'll go all the way to the bottom now. So down here, you'll see that there's 3 different options. You can either just save the form and then keep working on it. You can save and exit the form, so you can just leave this one entirely, or you can click Save and Print. If you click Save and Print, then it'll download the form for you, and then you can save it to your computer, or you can print it right away, and that's when there'll be the private information. But if you don't do that and you just save it and exit, then any of that personal information that you saved will be deleted. So you can also change the form status if it's complete or incomplete, if you would like to. Just a note that the only way to print a complete form is to do it through the CTR-AERF system, but I will come back to that later because there is a second way to enter a reaction, but this is the only way to print a reaction. So I'm going to click Save and Exit because I'm done with this patient. And I think that they were 7658 because that's the last thing I put in there. So as I just mentioned, there is a second way to enter online information, and this is also where a completed CT-AERF stores its information, and this is in REDCap. So you can either get to REDCap by going to the front of the TTISS website and clicking on this REDCap link, or you can go by clicking on REDCap here if you're in the CT-AERF and you want to go to REDCap directly. This is what So again, normally REDCap would prompt you to log in, and you use the same login that you used here to get into here, and it should take you to this main page. You're going to click on My Projects and then pick the TTISS project. Ooh, they're right there. This is the main page of the TTISS REDCap. To enter a new transfusion reaction or to edit an old transfusion reaction, you're going to click here where it says Add Edit Records on the left-hand side. Here you can scroll down and you can see all the old records that you've entered, or you can click Add New Record and it'll let you make a new one. So I made an incomplete record and it was 7658, so it should be right here, and we're going to enter this one, and I'll just show you what it looks like in REDCap. So I said it was a practice reaction. I added this case reference number. I said the person was A negative and that they had some chest pain. So all the information that we had there is stored over in here now. And then you'll see how they have the gender, year of birth, month of birth fields, but they don't have the other personal information. So that's what I mean by when you save that form and you exit, none of that personal information will save. Sometimes when you first get onto a patient's form in REDCap, you might get a warning sign that says that you've left fields blank, and sometimes that'll happen when you save the record too. That's okay. These are just fields that we normally want to have complete, but they may not always be complete when you exit. It'll still let you exit though. And everything is pretty much the same. It doesn't quite look the same, but it has all the same fields as it does in these kinds of forms. And then when you're at the bottom, you can pick incomplete or complete just the same way, and then you can save the record. If you're here and you prefer entering your transfusion reactions this way, but you'd still like to print them, you click this print the PDF. It'll bring you back to this login page, and that's what I mean. You have to select a previous entry. I guess it doesn't let me because I have two things open. Here we go. 7658. You want to edit the entry. You'd scroll. You could enter the patient information here if you wanted just before you printed, and then save and print like usual. Back to REDCap for a second. Here we are. So REDCap is also the only place that you can export data from and use this data to make your own reports or monitor how your hospital is doing for transfusion reactions. And you do that using the Data Exports, Reports, and Stats link. But if you'd like to find out more about how to do this, how to export the data and make your own report, please see one of our other training videos called How to Create TTISS-ON Reports. So this brings us to the end of our Entering a Reaction How-To video. I hope that you enjoyed the video and also found it helpful for entering reactions. Thank you for watching and have a great day.